for our meditation this morning. During the last few months, I had an opportunity to work in a small business that offered a great deal of contact with the general public. And I found, working with the general public, that it's pretty hard to put them into a class, but we like to call them sometimes the middle class or the working class. But these are people who do have legitimate concerns of providing for their family's welfare, who work hard every day to build a nest egg for the future, and who don't like innovations or change which is going to upset the status quo. Such a definition of the general public, I think, must include the fact that they're basically good people, however. They're loyal Americans. But they are bound to certain biases, prejudices, and fears. Talking with the general public, as such, often elicited such remarks like, "I don't want my tax money supporting lazy welfare bums who won't get out and get a job for themselves." Or, "Why don't those dirty hippies clean up, cut their hair, and start wearing shoes around town?" Or one that especially evokes fear, "A colored family has moved into the next block. Why don't they go back down where they belong and live with their own people?" Hearing such statements are really frustrating because these feelings are a mixture of legitimate concerns as well as popular opinions on simple solutions to complex problems. The general public, the working class, the middle class, or whatever you want to call them, are really bound to fears because they cannot or they refuse to see the truth. Listening to such people throughout the summer has reminded me of Augsburg's centennial theme, "Through Truth to Freedom." This theme and the verse that it comes from in John seems to have kept me from being subjected to these views and incorporating them into my own personal life. Opinionated rejoinders regarding the welfare situation, the unrest among youth, and interracial relations are often based on press reports and mass media. These sources of information do tell part of the truth. For example, I'm sure there probably are some people on welfare who are lazy and aren't going to get out and get a job. But the fact of the matter is that these information sources fail to tell the whole truth. It's not always easy to search out the whole truth, for that requires an open mind and a healthy attitude. It's much easier to become complacent and smug in half-truths. The perpetuators of these dishonest and ill-found values are doomed to a mental death, and their death certificates will probably read, "Death due to stagnation of the mind caused by blindness to the truth." To accept the truth of a situation is to try to see objectively the causes and effects before attempting to criticize and offer solutions. To say that Augsburg College is a good, nice Norwegian Lutheran college is like uttering holy words that should never be contested. Such a phrase also reeks of rotting prejudicial values. To admit, however, that Augsburg has problems in every aspect of its life is to yield to the truth and to be set free from binding biases in order that one might see corrections and make improvements. Truth creates an atmosphere of candor in which two individuals can discuss openly their hang-ups, their fears, and their joys. In the honest atmosphere of the same truth, an institution must examine its role for its effectiveness. To expect an institution like Augsburg to face the truth of its existence is to demand that each of its very individuals examine the meaning and the truth of their own existence. In that way, and only in that way, will the leaven spread throughout the entire lump. Freedom requires an allegiance to truth. Loyalty to such a value is far more noble than being a slave to prejudice and bias. Through truth to freedom then results in life. Any other way leads to death.